You're not hearing this by accident. You didn't just scroll here randomly. You didn't click this video by mistake. Maybe right now your heart is heavy, your thoughts are loud, you're overwhelmed, burnt out, maybe even numb. You're standing in the middle of a storm that no one else sees, a silent battle no one claps for. But the fact that you're here, right now, still listening, that's not random. That's your spirit whispering, don't give up. Let's get one thing clear. You've made it through more than you're giving yourself credit for. Think about the nights you couldn't sleep, the mornings you didn't want to face, the moments when it felt like life was piling on weight after weight. And yet somehow you're still standing, even when no one noticed, even when you cried in silence, even when quitting seemed easier. You didn't give in, not because someone begged you to keep going, but because you couldn't let yourself quit. That strength? That's rare, that's real. You don't have to wear a fake smile. You don't have to pretend everything's fine. The world doesn't need more perfect masks. What it needs, what it desperately craves, are people brave enough to be real. People who shake but still show up. Who feel afraid but walk forward anyway. People who say, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm not backing down. Maybe your starting line wasn't fair. Maybe no one gave you a head start. No silver spoon, no map, no cheering crowd. But here's the good news. You don't need any of that. Because you have something far more powerful, your will, your grit. That unexplainable fire deep in your gut that refuses to be extinguished. And yes, there will be days when that fire feels dim, when doubt creeps in like a shadow. But let me ask you this. Have you come this far just to stop now? You were built for more. Not because someone said so, but because it's already inside you. You just have to dig through the noise, the fear, the comparison, the pressure, and remember who you are beneath it all. You're not here to blend in. You're not here to give half of your heart. You're not here to follow someone else's script. You're here to rise. Even if your legs are shaking, even if your voice cracks, even if the world isn't clapping for you yet. This is not the end of your story. This is just a messy, beautiful middle where transformation happens, where strength is born, where you choose to stand when everything inside you wants to lay down. You've got this, not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Keep going. The future isn't waiting for someone perfect, it's waiting for someone real. And that, my friend, is you. You've realized there's power within you, that your will, not your circumstances, defines your path. But even with that truth shining through, you still feel stuck. Why? Why do you keep spinning your wheels, burning your energy, yet making no real progress? Why do your dreams feel so distant, like something you once believed in but now only visit in silence? Because you're still looking at your life through the lens of other people's opinions. That's the truth. You're measuring your worth by their yardstick. You're chasing their approval, fitting into their boxes, walking down roads they built for you, not the one meant for you. You live every day trying to please the world, to meet their expectations, to avoid their judgment. And in the process, you forget about your own fire. That passion inside you, you've buried it under layers of fear, shame, and silent compromise. You don't speak your dreams out loud, do you? Why? Because you're afraid they'll laugh. You're scared that if you show the world what you really want, what sets your heart on fire, they'll mock you, dismiss you, tell you it's unrealistic, childish, impossible. So you stay quiet. You nod. You play it safe. You bottle up your emotions because you've been taught that vulnerability is weakness. You've heard that sharing your struggles makes you dramatic. So instead of expressing the weight on your chest, you suppress it. You smile when you want to scream. You say, I'm fine, when you're anything but. You pretend. You act like everything's okay while your soul is whispering, or maybe even shouting, I want more than this. More than this job that drains you. More than this routine that suffocates you. More than this version of yourself that barely scratches the surface of your potential. You feel it deep inside. There's a bigger life waiting, but you're stuck in place. Why? Because fear still has a grip on you. And here's the truth you might be avoiding. If you keep waiting, if you keep putting off the change, if you keep hoping the right moment will magically arrive, you will lose yourself, slowly, quietly. You'll become a shell of who you were meant to be, that vibrant, fearless, purpose-driven version of you. It will fade, not all at once, but piece by piece. You don't need more time. You've had enough time. Time hasn't been the problem. What you need is a decision, one decision, right now. a promise to yourself that you won't keep shrinking, that you won't keep postponing your purpose, that you won't bury your dreams just because they make other people uncomfortable. Say it with conviction. I won't let my dreams die in silence. I won't let fear run my life. I won't ask for permission to become my best self. Because the truth is, no one's going to give you that permission anyway. No one's going to show up and say, now's the perfect time to believe in yourself. You have to decide. You have to choose yourself. You have to light the fire and then protect it with everything you've got. You're not stuck because you're incapable. You're stuck because you're still living under the weight of opinions that don't matter. It's time to break free. No more delay. No more silence. Now is the moment to make your move. You've made the decision not to let your dreams die in silence. You've started to break free from the weight of others' opinions. Now comes the harder question, the one few dare to answer honestly. Everyone wants to succeed. That part is easy to say. We all crave the rewards, the freedom, the recognition, the peace of mind. But wanting it isn't enough. Because the real question is this: are you willing to pay the price that success demands? Because make no mistake, success has a cost. Are you willing to wake up early while the world still sleeps in comfort? To rise before the sun, before the noise, before the excuses have a chance to creep in? To push yourself while the rest of the world is still dreaming? Are you willing to stay focused while others waste time scrolling, complaining, procrastinating? Can you hold the line, stay locked in, and protect your energy when everyone else is chasing distraction? Are you willing to walk alone while others are caught up in the crowd, laughing, celebrating, chasing attention and validation? Because sometimes the road to greatness is a quiet, solitary path. There won't always be cheers. There won't always be company. There will be moments when it's just you, your vision, and your discipline. Greatness doesn't just happen. It's not random. It's not luck. It's built. It's built through consistent, quiet, disciplined choices. The kind of choices you make not once, but every day. Again, and again, and again. The kind you make when no one's watching, when there's no applause, no external reward, just you doing what needs to be done. You repeat the habits, you repeat the effort, you repeat the discipline, you repeat the sacrifice. And the world might not notice at first. They might not understand why you're saying no to late nights, to shortcuts, to easy roads. They might not see the early mornings, the sore muscles, the missed parties, the quiet tears. But one day they will. One day when the results finally show, when the doors open, when the success appears, they'll call you lucky. They'll say, you're so talented, or you're just built different. But they won't see the nights you spent doubting yourself and choosing to keep going anyway. They won't know how long you bled in silence, and they don't need to. Because you'll know, and that's enough. So let them call it luck. Let them misunderstand the process. But you know, it was built in the dark, in silence, in persistence, and sometimes even in pain. And speaking of pain, they called it failure. But what if it wasn't failure at all? What if it was just a lesson still in progress, a part of your story that needed more time, more grit, more courage to unfold? What if every time you stumbled, it wasn't the end, but a pause in the plot, a moment that would one day make the story stronger? They told you that you weren't enough, that you were too slow, too broken, too late, too different. They tried to place limits on you, box you in, define your worth by what they could see or understand. But stop and ask yourself this: who gave them the pen to write your life? Who said their version of you is more accurate than your own? When did you surrender authorship of your own story to voices that don't even know your full depth? You're not your resume, you're not your grades, you're not your mistakes or your past. You're not defined by someone else's opinion. You are not a statistic, a label, or a line on someone's judgment sheet. You are the author. You hold the pen. And even if you've written chapters filled with doubt, disappointment, or detours, you can start a new chapter today. Every scar you carry is not a symbol of weakness, but of survival. Every breakdown you endured wasn't the end. It was a test of your foundation. And every time you whispered, "I can't," but kept going anyway, that wasn't defeat. That was resistance. That was resilience. They didn't break you, they built you. They're proof, hard-earned, soul-forged proof, that your heart refuses to quit, that no matter what they said, no matter what life threw at you, no matter how many times you wanted to give in, you didn't. And that means you can keep going, because the story isn't over, and you are still holding the pen. You've remembered that the pen is still in your hand. You are not defined by failure, scars, or outside judgment. And once you realize that, it takes just one decision to rewrite the entire story. You don't need more reasons. You just need one choice. Not a choice made when fear has vanished, but a choice made while fear is still present. When your heart is racing, when your hands are shaking, when that inner voice still whispers, "Be careful, don't fail again." You don't need to wait for someone else to come and tell you that you're worthy, that it's your time to shine. You have to decide to light your own fire. No one else can do that for you. There will be days when you feel empty, days without inspiration, days when you don't want to do anything, when you have no motivation, when no one is there beside you. And it's on those exact days you must rise. Not when things are easy, not when energy is overflowing, but when everything seems to have gone quiet and you still choose to move forward. Because the winner isn't the one with the biggest reason. The winner is the one who keeps moving, even when the reason fades. When the WOI becomes blurry and faint. When you no longer hear the call of your dream, when the excitement has faded. That's when the true test begins. Can you keep going, even when everything inside you wants to stop? Can you rise again, simply because you made a promise to yourself that you wouldn't quit? The journey won't always be bright. Sometimes it's one dragging step, one heavy breath, one quiet decision made in the middle of a cold, uncertain day. But every time you choose to keep going, even just one small step, you are rewriting yourself. You're proving that your reason doesn't have to shout, it only has to move. Every time you choose to keep going, even just one small step, you're rewriting yourself. You're showing up not because the world is cheering, but because you made a promise to rise. And to truly rise, you have to start by facing the one person who matters most. Look in the mirror. Really look. Not to inspect your appearance, not to compare yourself to anyone else, not to judge, criticize, or mask what you see, but to meet your true self, the one underneath the noise, the one that's always been there, even when you felt lost, the one who's tired of pretending, of shrinking, of molding into expectations that don't belong to you. It's time to stop performing. Stop putting on a show for people who don't even know your whole story. Stop faking joy just to keep others comfortable. Stop adjusting yourself just to fit someone else's version of enough. It's time to stop people-pleasing. You don't owe the world a perfect version of yourself. You don't need to smile through pain to prove your strength. You don't have to chase validation to earn your worth. You don't need to become someone to be worthy. You already are, exactly as you are, when you choose to live honestly. When you choose to be real, even if it's messy. When you stop hiding behind filters, expectations, and silent suffering. Because this journey, it isn't for the polished. It's not about being flawless. It's not about always getting it right. It's not about curating a perfect life for others to admire. This path, the one you're on, is for the raw, for the real, for the brave souls who can look at their reflection and say, "This is me, unfinished, imperfect, uncertain, but real and still standing." Because there's power in truth, power in vulnerability, power in being unapologetically, undeniably you. After meeting your truest self in the mirror, raw, real, and still standing, the question now becomes urgent. If today were your last day, how would you live it? Would you keep scrolling, eyes glued to a screen while the moments slip by? Would you keep waiting for the right time, as if life comes with perfect conditions? Would you still hope that someone, anyone, finally gives you permission to begin? Or would you stand up? Would you take the reins and live it, boldly, fully, with no regrets? Because here's the truth no one wants to say out loud: there is no perfect time. No one's coming to your door with a sign saying, "Hey, today is your moment." There's no golden hour marked on your calendar. No green light flashing, "Go now." The world won't hand you permission, it never has. You create that day, you choose that moment, and every second you wait is one more second you could have used to change everything. So stop asking the world if you're enough. Stop looking for outside approval, validation, or applause. Start proving it to yourself. Not with words, not with intentions, not with plans written on paper and dreams locked in your head, but with action, with bold, uncomfortable, messy, beautiful action. You weren't born to shrink. You weren't born to stay silent or small. You weren't born to stand in the background while life unfolds in front of others. You were born to build something, to create, to rise. You were born to roar, with your voice, with your work, with your presence. You were born to leave a mark that outlasts your own name. So if today were your last, what would you do? Now go do it. No fear, no waiting, no more asking, just start. So today, don't just exist, live. Say it loud. I didn't come this far to stop here. I wasn't made to breathe. I was made to burn. And I begin right now. Don't just let this video inspire you, let it transform you. The story of your life is still being written. So pick up the pen and write the chapter you were born to live. If this message moved something inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, comment, and share this with someone who needs it. And if you're ready to rise every single day, welcome to the tribe. Subscribe to Motivation Hub Rise now